Well, what's up, everybody? Steve and Anna are back again with another recipe, and this one really excited about. And this is the cheesecake recipe that we have been mentioning. And before we get into the details of this, I just want to say, as someone myself who's not really much of a cheesecake person, in fact, I'm one of those people that when you go to the Cheesecake Factory, I would usually not get any cheesecake. And having said that, this recipe blew my mind. It was fantastic. So before we get into the recipe, I know that you wanted to give a quick shout out.
I did. So I wanted to give a quick shout out to Marina. Our friend Marina is the one that made this cheesecake recipe for us. Knowing that we were on a keto diet, she went through the trouble of finding this awesome recipe. It's a low carb keto cheesecake recipe. What I'm going to get started on is I'm going to get started on the crust. The crust is has almond flour, it has cinnamon, and it has a powdered sweetener, which is this kind right here. It's a Swerve, which is keto friendly.
And this is the confectioner's kind, not
yes,
the granulated kind.
It's the powdered sugar. Yeah, it's a confectioner. So this is the one that I use. And then I use almond flour from Costco, the Kirkland brand. So we use that as well. So...
And as I said in the beginning, this is a multi-step process. So you're going to go through crusting, making the crust first.
So we're going to do the crust first. We're going to do the crust first. We do need to melt the butter, so I'm going to throw this in the microwave. So the recipe does call for us mixing all of the dry ingredients first. So I'm going to do that.
And as we usually do, we will make sure to have the recipe in the description.
With the ingredients and the measurements and everything, because I don't remember them offhand. So we got cinnamon, we have the Swerve confectionery sugar, and then the almond flour. And that's all going to go in this bowl. So I'm going to mix this all up. And yep, it's pretty melted.
So if anybody's watching, that was actually closer to about 35
maybe
seconds
35,
or so.
40 seconds would probably be okay. So we're going to go ahead and pour that melted butter in there. By the way, this is a 10-inch springform pan, so 10 inches. Okay, so I think this is pretty well mixed. So we're going to go ahead and put it...
No greasing, no nothing?
Nope, don't need to grease anything. We'll just do that. And then what you want to do is you want to kind of flatten it out.
What thickness are you typically going? You're just trying to get it even right across the bottom?
Yeah, just try to get it even. And so that's why you want to take this and try to cover the bottom. And you can cover a little bit of the sides, but as long as the bottom is covered, and then you just kind of keep flattening this and make sure the bottom's covered, just like that.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and refrigerate this because it's a little warm. I'm going to refrigerate this for about 30 minutes. So that's what it looks like.
Okay, so as you can see, the crust actually was only a handful of ingredients, not horribly difficult to pull together, but you do have to get it together, get it in the fridge so that it's chilled and kind of ready to go. So we're moving on to the filling, right?
To the filling. So then we have cream cheese already in the mixer. It's supposed to be room temperature, so it's nice and soft. Also, room temperature, you want the eggs and the sour cream to also be room temperature. In order for me to kind of warm them up a little bit quicker, I just put them in a little bit of warm water, the eggs. And then the sour cream should be room temperature by now because I've had it out for a little bit. Also, you want to preheat the oven to 325 degrees. So you could be preheating the oven before you start the filling. So I went ahead and put my cream cheese it's already in the mixer. It's about 6 8-ounce packages of cream cheese. So it's quite a bit of cream cheese. So we're going to go ahead and start mixing this a little bit. It's pretty soft.
Turn it on, more power. There we go.
There we go.
Nothing a little more power can fix.
Right. Okay, so then we're gonna go ahead and add the sour cream in here. So it's 1 full cup of room temperature sour cream. Get it all in there. And we'll mix that a little bit. Everything's supposed to be like little by little. So. Just want to whip it for a minute. So then the next thing is we're gonna go ahead and add the powdered
Do you remember how much that is?
sugar. This is 2 cups of the confectionary's.
This is the Swerve that
The Swerve, yeah.
we used
So
earlier.
2 cups. There we go. And then we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of vanilla as well. All right. Mix that up some more. Whoa. I should have started a little slow.
That's my fault.
I'm a very messy cook anyway. I always make a huge mess, so.
That's okay. We're always made with love.
Yes. And so far everything's turned out still good. Thankfully. Okay, so while this is mixing, we're supposed to add the eggs 1 at a time. Go from there. So 1 at a time. So it's 5 eggs, 5 large eggs. Okay. So looks like some of it's kind of sticking to the side, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and just, nope, no shell. I broke it weird, but I'm just gonna go ahead and add the last 2.
Breaking the law.
Okay.
So what consistency are we going for? So you're just
want it to
basically
be
just be
smooth.
blended, all right.
You just want it to be smooth. Hopefully it won't have lumps in it.
More power.
Not backwards. Just want to make sure that everything's mixed really well here.
So real quickly, we wanted to kind of interject here for a second. The last time my wife made this, I know she made it with the hand mixer.
Yeah, I almost burnt out my hand mixer, so I decided to go with the my large KitchenAid.
And so what you were doing right there was just kind of making sure that all of the lumps and stuff were off the bottom, right?
Right.
Which you don't typically have to do with a hand mixer, so. So one quick side note that we're just going to talk about here is the fact that the cream cheese was left out for a couple of hours, but it may have not quite been room temperature. So just for those of you watching, just make sure before you do your mixing that it's, we were trying to rush to do that to get the video ready, and so we had to cut a couple of corners. So just next time, make sure for everybody watching, make sure that it's fully room temperature.
Well, last time what I did is I warmed the cream cheese a little bit in the microwave to make sure it was nice and soft. So it is a little bit lumpy right now, so I may have to just let it sit for a little bit.
Okay.
Let it warm up. So.
All right, so we've been about 30 minutes or so. Everything's mixed up nice. What are we doing next?
So I got the crust out of the refrigerator, so it's nice and cool. So now we're just gonna pour the mixture or the filling in. All right, so now we're just gonna pour this all in. Just like that. Alright, so I'm just gonna smooth that out a little bit, and I'm gonna put it on a cookie sheet, just like that. So it's gonna go in the oven at 325 for about 50 minutes. So we're gonna come back. You want it to be on the center rack right in the middle. So we'll put the timer for 50 minutes and we'll come back and check it.
Okay, so we're coming up on just about the end of the time that we were baking, and so there's a few things you got to do, right?
Just one, actually.
Oh, what is the one thing?
So now that the 50 minutes has gone by, we're gonna go ahead and check this. Oops. And so it's looking, so it's not shiny anymore, which is good, yeah.
Okay.
So what's gonna happen is it is gonna be a little jiggly still, as you can see. See how it's still jiggly? So we want to leave it in the oven, turn off the oven, which I already did. We're going to leave the door cracked open for 30 minutes And then once it's done, after 30 minutes, then we're gonna go ahead and put it on a cooling rack, and then it's gonna sit out here for 1 hour. So it is a process and it takes a long time, but yeah, it'll be fine. All right, so we'll see you in 30. Alrighty.
All right, so our timer just went off.
It's been 30 minutes, so now we're gonna take it out and we're gonna put it on the cooling rack, and it has to sit out for about an hour, and then has to be refrigerated for 8 hours. So it's a long process before you even get to eat it. So it is worth it though. All right, so last night, before I put it in the refrigerator, I just took a butter knife and just kind of tried to separate the cheesecake from the actual spring form. And then I wrapped it loosely with some cellophane. So now we are going to, just want to check the edges here really quick, which I think are okay. I'm just gonna run the butter knife once more just to make sure. All right, so now I'm gonna take the spring form off and hope that.
You can always screw it, or did it come off okay?
There we go. It's a little messy.
Yeah.
Turned out a little bit better on this side, but it did stick a little bit. So it's really important to try to take the butter knife and try to separate it a little bit better than I did when it's still a little bit warm before you put it in the fridge. But
I think we would all agree it doesn't really matter how it looks, and it's how it tastes. And so,
yes, and it's a really good cheesecake, so it is worth the time. So you could add toppings like strawberries or any kind of fruit that you like. So there it is.
Awesome.
It's not as pretty as I was hoping, but it's still gonna taste good. So.
All right, everybody. So that is our cheesecake recipe, kind of her cheesecake recipe, I guess, or Marina's. I don't know. It's somebody's, and it's really awesome. It really tastes great. If this is your first time visiting our channel, first off, we'd like to ask you if you wouldn't mind, if you like content like this, please take an opportunity to like the video. Please head over to our channel and consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, please click the bell icon to turn on notifications. That way, anytime we do put out new content, you'll get notified of it right away. And then we'd love for you to drop a comment down below. Comment anything, really. It doesn't matter. You can throw any kind of comment down below. We'd love feedback. Anything that you can share with us to help us make the video better is going to be awesome as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.